lover than a fighter, 'cause all my life I've been fighting. Never felt a feeling of comfort. All this time I've been hiding, and I never had someone to call my own. No, I'm so used to sharing. Love only left me alone, but I'm at one with the silence. I found peace in your violence. Can't show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been silent for too long. I've been quiet for too long. I've been quiet for too long.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Therapeutic Show where we have Acacians telling Acacian stories. Today with us is Ike, a final year student. Before we go through the questions that you guys gave us as usual, he'll give us a brief introduction about himself.
Hi guys, my name is Ike, as you said. I'm a final year student studying international relations.
Okay. And a former SRC president, 2019 to 2020.
Yeah.
I think, no, 2020 to 2021. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I got my years mixed up. Anyways, so most of those questions are coming from students that are in their third year, second year, first year, trying to get a broad understanding of Africa University as a society, understand?
Right.
So our first question is, what are you most grateful for over the past years at Africa University?
I think I'm most grateful for being able to actually go to school. For myself and many of my peers, going to school took a long time. So finally getting there, and now I'm almost done. I lived for a few weeks. I think that's what I'm most grateful for, being able to just come here and learn. Yeah.
And what challenges have you met at Africa University, well, specifically in your first year, in your freshman year?
Freshman year, I think time management, because you're thrown into a world where you've got no structure. It's different from high school where things are structured. You wake up at 6, you get to school by 7, by 1 you're at lunch, by 4 you're playing sports, by 6 you're going back home. Here those things are a bit more malleable, so it's freelance. So unless you're someone who's very grounded, your time management and your discipline can shake a little bit, as well as the temptations and whatnot that come into stray you from what you're traditionally used to and stuff like that. Yeah.
And are there any personal achievements that you're proud of that you basically got here at Africa University?
I guess being able to keep my CGPA at a certain level. For those who are watching and don't know what that is, it's kind of like your grading system, basically. So my grades have been at a specific level, and that's a personal achievement for me because at the end of the day, I'm doing it for my family, and that's what they need back home. So yeah.
That's a great one. And you know how university tends to be more than an academic space. It has authors, social things going on. You spoke about pressure, temptations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are the biggest lessons that you have learned from your experience at Africa University?
I think one thing I can say is don't take things too seriously. Try not to take things too seriously, because in as much as you need to get the degree and get the grades up and stuff like that, you also still need to be a human being. You need to rest. You need to find time to play and whatnot. So yeah, try not to take things too seriously, because 4 years is not a long time. And you really don't want to be the guy or girl who says, I spent the 4 years doing nothing and I've got no experiences. So my thing would be seek experiences, seek adventure. Yeah.
That's a great one. And what were you most excited about coming to Africa University on your first year?
Being away from home.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm joking.
I think that's one for everyone.
I guess the most exciting thing is, as a man, right? You constantly in our lives we're pursuing self-actualization. So we're trying to become like this ultimate guy, right? So I guess for me, coming to school was the first step in the escalation towards who I really want to be. So yeah, that's what I was most excited about, being able to kind of ignite my life, if I can put it that way.
And the next question is coming from a first year student. They're saying that as a final year student, what do you wish you spent more time on throughout your years at Africa University? And what advice would you give to the AU community at large, especially those that just started their journey at Africa University?
Okay, so apart from taking it easy and seeking adventure, I'll start with the advice. Make friends, and do your best to make the right ones. And in that same regard, I would say pray. Spend most of your time praying. A prayer doesn't necessarily need to be you speaking in tongues and clapping and making all sorts of noise and stuff. The prayer is just a conversation with God every single day. So when you start your day, in the middle of the day, at the end of the day, just speak to Him. And pray over yourself and your friends as well, the people, your society, your little environment that's around you. And what do I wish I spent more time doing at Africa University? Traveling, definitely. Africa University is located in one of the most beautiful places in Zimbabwe, in Africa. So if you're not using the time wisely to at least once a semester just go somewhere, that's what I wish I did. Yeah.
Okay. And we spoke about you being the SRC president at some point, and we see some of the things you achieved, especially with the community building, and stuff. And do you see any changes or improvements made so far by the current SRC president from the time you left?
I'd like to say that yes, I do. I do see the changes, and in regards to the change, it's all based on the angle that you choose to approach it from. For example, we have the whole the transportation issue, right? And they came up with a solution for that. That in itself is some sort of change. You get what I mean? Because we're moving from an old normal to a new normal. Also, how they've been able to transition from mid-COVID to a post-COVID era almost seamlessly. It looked seamlessly to the rest of us because we're not inside it, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a very easy process. And having to work with the new dean of students, stuff like that. So I'm very appreciative of, and I acknowledge the change and efforts that they're doing. And I've spoken with them in the past and in the current office. I think there's a lot more to come, definitely.
That's great. And the next question is a bit personal. Do you believe in soulmates, and did you happen to meet your soulmate at Africa University?
Of course, I believe in soulmates. And yeah, I did actually. I did meet my soulmate at Africa University. But yeah, that's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
And over your past experiences, what would you say is the most challenging thing about campus relationships?
Sure. I guess because we're in such a kind of like a close-knit-ish community, it's very difficult to, I say this as a guy, it's very difficult to be a romantic because, you can only take someone to the grounds for a picnic so many times before it becomes rudimentary and the same thing. So yeah, I think that's it. The most difficult thing is being romantic. You can only take so many walks.
Students can never be romantic.
Exactly.
Okay, and what have you learned from the different cultures and people you've met on campus in terms of social life? Taking out of our diverse community.
Okay, I think the number one lesson is that human beings are different. Africa has 54 countries, and this is different communities, societies, tribes, groups, beliefs, practices, right? And here at Africa University, all these things are inside one place. And it's very difficult for people of various dispositions and whatnot to be cohesive and see everything in the same light or head in the same direction. But that's just me speaking about the complicated side of it. Apart from that, it's a very beautiful mix. It's beautiful being around so many different people who think differently, who see things differently from the way you see things. And you learn, you learn. It's incredible. You know, I'd advise people to come to a school like Africa University, where it's not just people of a specific group who are there. You know, open your mind and, you know, befriend people from everywhere. Trust me, you will learn something definitely.
And that literally links us to our next question. Did you happen to make, do you have international friends from Africa University, and what opportunities have you got from them?
Okay. Of course, I do. I do have international friends. If I start listing them, we'll be here the whole day. But they're really, really people who are close to my heart. What opportunities? I guess opportunities to just interact with their families.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, as peers, it's just, you know, it's just boys and girls who are just chilling and whatnot. But when I'm taken into their proper setting, where it's them and like their communities and whatnot, you know, that's, for me, that's an opportunity, because now I am chilling with people from Cameroon, for example. You know, old people, young people, and I'm for a few hours in that day I'm Cameroonian. You know, but yeah, that's the opportunity that those people have created for me, and only God knows what opportunities were great for me in the corporate world, in the real world, you know, after school. Yeah.
That's a great one, and that was our last question. So, since you have a few weeks left, you probably have a few messages to a few people, maybe your entire year. You know, we're literally just giving you 30 seconds to say, oh, shout out to ABCD, ABCD.
Yo, I don't know if I should list people by name, but
you're free to do anything.
Shout out to my boys. They know who they are. All of them. Shout out to the team of the Therapeutic Talk show for giving me the opportunity. Shout out to my soulmate for making me a better man. And yeah, I think thank you to everybody who's contributed positively to my time here. And don't forget to read, guys. Exams are hard.
That's okay. Thank you very much. That's all from Ike, and that's all from us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and catch us in another episode.